What's up, y'all? It's your girl Nick Robinson with the Yara Effect, and I just want to speak about relationships. Like, who doesn't think about relationships? Today, we're going to speak about relationships that women engage in with men. And, ladies, how can we add security to our relationship? Um, First of all, you have to know what kind of relationship that you're embarking upon. A lot of times, we meet people and, we really don't know where they're going. But I challenge us to know exactly what it is we're looking for so that when we find what we don't want, we know to go ahead on and get on out of that situation before we start to develop feelings. Because, ladies, once we develop feelings, I mean, it is hard for us to just walk away. And I get that. Loyalty, love, they are some strong emotions. But let's begin to think intentionally what we want out of a relationship. We need to know what it is that we're going to do when the relationship comes about. I mean, like when you find that man that you really like are thinking, hey, I maybe can go further with this person. There's three things that, are pretty much, in my opinion, the foundation that make men feel loved and it adds security to the relationship. Now, this is after you have vetted him, you've determined that he is the type of man that you're looking for, the type of man that you want in your life, that you are ready to do this for. I'm not saying every man you meet, this is what you do. Like, absolutely not. What I'm saying is you've taken the time to get a sense of who he is. He's shown you who he is. Because when a man wants you, you're not going to have to guess. He's going to let you know. A lot of times they'll tell you, they'll definitely show you. But if they don't tell you, you'll definitely know. You won't have to be wondering where he is, what he got going on, if you're going to see him, when you're going to see him. He's going to communicate all of those things. So, the three things that we as women can add to the foundation of the relationship, which adds security, is acceptance, affection, and respect. I'm going to say it again: acceptance, affection, and respect. With acceptance, that means at his core, do you like who he is? Do you accept him, flaws and all? I'm not saying that he may not get on your nerves because, listen, sometimes my husband, he can get on my nerves just like I can get on his, right? We love each other at the end of the day. But do I accept him for the person that he is? Are the even annoying things about him something I can live with? Okay. Um, One pet peeve of mine that I told my husband about early on in our dating life was like, okay, if we begin to cohabitate, right? One thing that I cannot stand is when you step out of the shower and you step onto the mat and you get it all wet, and then I have to come in behind you if you take a shower before me, and now my feet are all wet. Like, ugh, that really gets on my nerves. So I told him about that, and he was like, but that's what the mat is for. And I'm like, no, it's not. Because what happens is the mat is wet and it stinks and it gets moldy. And I mean, like, who's going to wash a bath mat every day to ensure that doesn't happen, right? Because over time, the mat, that it just, it's disgusting to me. So, I told him about that. And so we made an accommodation for him to still be able to do what he wants to do, maintain his habits. He puts down a different like covering over the bath mat that absorbs the moisture, and that way the bath mat isn't just in a state that I don't like and that would like irk me, even if it's okay or even if I accept it over time. And then eventually it's like, this man get on my nerves. He step on the mat. Like, to avoid that, just be transparent and upfront about what your quirks are, what your aggravation little things are, because those things matter. I think that people don't really go into it thinking like, oh, what could he do to get on my nerves, or what would make me just be like, oh my god, I can't stand living with this person. Because you can love somebody, but then if you find out you can't live with them, what do you do? Like, fight every day? Or do you give up the relationship? Like, what do you do? You know what I mean? So that's the question. Do you accept him as he is? If he never got any better, would you still want to be with him? Not saying that people can't change, because they can, but let's be honest. People really don't deviate that much from who they are at their core. Like who they are, even if they try, um, it's kind of like it's a lot of effort. And when you think about the day-to-day life, when you think about, other things that take your attention and focus, trying to change who you are at your core is a huge challenge. And I just feel like it's better to choose somebody who more closely aligns with what you are looking for anyway. And if it's something as simple as the example I just gave, where we can compromise and neither one of us are day to day having to forsake who we are just to be together, then I think you have a winner. I think you have a situation that you can live with and live through and work through. Um, do you accept his habits? Like my husband, he likes to play the video game. I don't care for video games. I mean, it is what it is. He's all in the league and everything. Madden, ladies, do y'all have a Madden guy? They take their football serious. My husband did play football, so he loves football. He's been playing football his whole life. He doesn't physically play anymore, but now he's on the Madden. So can you accept that about him? Like, yes, we do spend time outside of our individual time, but if I come in the room and he playing the Madden, I'm like, see, this should be the motivation for us to get a bigger house so that you can have your own little man cave and I ain't gotta be interrupting your game, this, that, and the other. So yeah, I mean, do I care for the game? I don't. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes like I'm watching it and I'm rooting him on. And I'm sometimes, believe it or not, I'm actually coaching him. Like, he played football his whole life, but I'm a mental person. And I'm like, listen, if you can figure out in the first like 2 to 3 minutes the mindset of this player that you're playing against, you can play him and beat him in his own game. So he's incorporated that into his strategy for winning. And in this league that they have together, like he's become a top contender by actually studying what the other players are doing, so that when he plays them, he has a strategy for it. So again, like, even though I'm not like, I love football, I love football, I'm a Georgia girl, so of course I'm a Falcons fan. My second favorite team is my husband's absolute favorite team, which is the Steelers. So I mean, I already like football. I'm not trying to be somebody that I'm not, because I liked football before I met my husband. But I'm just saying, do I accept his leisure time of playing the video game? Sure, whatever, you can do that if you like. So do you accept this man? Do you, are you able to understand who he is and accept it all? When you are able to do that, then you treat him better, you understand him better, and it just feels better overall. Because let's be honest, it's not just up to the men to make us feel good. Let's be clear. If you love somebody, you're going to want to make them feel good too, right? Right? Okay, because I know sometimes ladies, we can get a little entitled, and feel like, oh, well, if he want me, I'm the prize, blah, blah, blah. And you are. Absolutely, you are the prize. But I'm here to tell you, a good man is also your prize. And so when you do find that good man, it's my goal to help you understand how you could possibly make him feel like, you know what, I got me a good woman, I'm gonna keep her. Because one thing about a good man, that's a strong man, he's not staying where he's not wanted, period. He's not. I know a lot of good men who do stay in situations that aren't really becoming for them, and they may do it for their children, or they may love her so much and he's trying to give her a chance, but eventually your time is up. Okay, your time is up with these men who see their value and be like, you know what, it ain't even about trying to chase whomever else is out there. It's about me being happy. I deserve to be happy, and that's a fact. If you're a good person, man or woman, whatever, you deserve to be happy. And if you're with someone who's not making you happy, who is anybody to tell them to stay? I'm an advocate for knowing your truth, knowing what makes you happy, and pursuing that, period. So let's move on to the next thing, affection. Okay, so affection. What is his love language? Is his love language, words of affirmation? They can be affectionate, if you tell them, hey babe, I love you, just thinking about you, like, oh, you're so smart, or you're strong, or whatever, fits for that particular man. I'm not telling you to run game. This is not what this is about. I'm not telling you to run game. I'm telling you, once you have found the man that you feel like you want to make a go at it with, once you have found the one for you, these are ways to add security to the situation so that he can feel the love and decide, hey, I want to be with her too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we have to get away from this, oh, I'm the prize, whether you're a man or a woman, and what their happiness doesn't matter, and whatever they feel is irrelevant as long as I'm happy, because no one can sustain anything with that type of behavior. In fact, in a relationship, it's best if you are both thinking about each other and being considerate of each other. You know what I'm saying? And ladies, don't get mad, because I do have a series for the men as far as, what makes us feel secure, what makes us, want to feel loved, and, how we receive love and stuff. So don't get mad. I'm coming. It's going to be their turn too. But for right now, let's deal with self. Let's, think about and talk about how we as ladies can add to our sense of security in our relationship for our man. Like, even if you married, you ain't leaving the marriage, so then work on it. Okay, how can I be more accepting of my husband? How can I, show more affection? It's not just about sex. You know what I'm saying? It can be about how you talk to him. It can be, how you touch him, hold his hand, stroke his head, whatever. I mean, like, do you show affection? If he tries to be affectionate with you, are you like, ooh, don't touch me, or are you leaning into him? Those are signs of affection. And the thing about it is, when you make your man feel like he's the man, he's going to do whatever he can to make sure you keep feeling that way about him. You understand how that works? Like, think about it. You accepted the man for who he is, and you can show love through affection. You know what I'm saying? It's not all about sex. A man can get sex anywhere, but what makes him be dedicated to you and committed to you is this security that we're talking about. Add that security by, getting in tune with his love language. The 5 love languages. If you don't know what they are, look them up. I'm not going to go through them, but what is his love language? And remember, it's not just about how you give love. It's how he feels loved. Okay? It's about how he feels loved. If you give love by giving gifts, right? But he really just wants you to be like, baby, you so handsome, I love you. Give him compliments, true compliments. Now, not no game, but true compliments. The gifts, he'll accept it and he'll appreciate it. He really will, and he will be thankful for them, but it's not how he feel love. And that's what you want to do. You want to engage the heart. You want to engage the emotions, because the woman who makes her man feel safe emotionally, he'll do anything in his power for her. Okay? Especially when that's what he's looking for. And I'm going to do a little bit about, husband and wife and things of that nature, because listen, this is my second marriage. I've been married before to my children's father. I'm married now 3 years in, and it's just a big difference. And all I want to do is like impart upon you guys some of the things that I incorporated before I even met him, my new husband, and kind of some of the healing that I did to be ready for him. Because one thing about it, you have to prepare yourself as well for what it is you want, so that when God does bless you with it, you don't fumble. Because the last thing you want to do is fumble what God has for you. He wants to bless you. He wants to give you your heart's desire, but you have to be ready for it. And so today we're going to try to, make sure we're ready for what it is we're looking for. If you're looking for a good man, you're looking for a husband, you're looking for somebody who wants to be a husband, do your work. And then, once you get him, here's some ways on how to make him feel secure so that the marriage thrives. The last thing I want to talk about is Respect. Y'all, we have to respect these men. A man does not feel loved if he does not feel respected. You have got to respect him. It's even a way to respectfully disagree. You don't have to, let me say this. If you are in a situation, marriage, whatever, where you feel like you're not being heard, you have to cuss, fuss, degrade him, you have to be all of these things, why are you in it? That's a question you need to ask yourself. Why are you in it? Is that what you want? I mean, because if that's what you want, then okay, that's fine. Can't nobody change how you feel. But if you really want a functional marriage, you have to respect him. And if you cannot respect him, if even on his best day you cannot find it in your heart to respect that man, you need to let him go. You need to walk away, and you need to go find a man who you can respect. What does that mean for you? Does that mean you want a provider? You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean something just like, oh, he got to be a millionaire. I mean, like, you want an honest working man that, has goals, ambitions, and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And he's a protector. Is that what you want? Like, go get what you want. You don't have to stay in these relationships with these men thinking that you can change them, or thinking that, the last woman got it wrong and you going to get it right. Nah, go find the man that most closely aligns with what you want in a man. That's it. That's half the battle. I know, what I'm saying, you may want certain features and you may want certain financial status and stuff like that. Okay, here's my thing. What is his ambition like? You know what I mean? Like, say, for example, let's talk about physicality, because when you first meet somebody, you don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying? And even if you think you know somebody, like say you met somebody at work and you think you know them, but girl, you don't know them. You know who he is at work. You don't know him personally. You don't know him in some very important situations, right? You just know who he is at work. None of us are the same at work that we are in our personal lives, okay? There's no way, especially when you work in corporate America, can you be who you are in your real life, because you be fired, or you know what I'm saying? Please, let's be honest. So, you have to know that who he is somebody that you can respect. If he bad with money and he always spending up the bill money, and y'all always in debt because he gamble, or he drank his money away or whatever, can you respect that? If you're the only fiscally responsible person, are you able to be like, you know what, babe, I got the bills, go spend your money however you want to? So if you don't feel that way, why would you align yourself with someone who has bad habits like that? Get you some boundaries. Stick to them. Period. I don't care if he's 6'5" and well size 16 shoe, and he, whatever else is on your dream list. If he falls outside of your boundary, your hard boundary, it's some things that you just will not accept. Like, he do drugs. If that's your hard boundary, he got to go. He got to go, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to respect him. And regardless of what we say, and we may not want to face this, if you choose to move forward with this person, you have to accept the consequences of that, good or bad. If you choose to stay with that person, you only making yourself more frustrated if you're not happy. Do what you need to do. And it starts by first choosing the best way that you can, and telling yourself, if at any point I'm not happy and I'm not getting what I need and we ain't able to work it out, I can go. I don't have to take this. You know what I'm saying? You got kids. Okay. Learn how to co-parent. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here to say that when you really look at things before you get your feelings all involved, because I mean to the point where on my first date with my husband, I was like, so I already have two children. At the time, my baby girl was 11. I didn't see myself starting over. I mean, I have an 11-year-old and a 14-year-old not looking to start over. Would I have loved to have had a baby with my husband? Absolutely. He's an excellent father. He really is. And I know that he would have taken excellent care of me while I was pregnant because my pregnancies were really hard on me. Um, and he would have been there every step of the way and done everything. But but I had already made up my mind before I met him. I'm not having any more children. I'm not. I got to a place where I was like, look, I want to just raise the kids that I have, and somebody's gonna have to understand that, and I'm not coming up off it. And I went on to let them know the first date, like, look, I know we've been talking because we met online. I said, I know we've been talking, and we, whatever. But like, if it goes to a certain point, I don't want any more children. How do you feel about that? And if he had told me children were a must for him, I would have been like, you know what? I don't think this will work in a relationship because that's not something I can compromise. And I'm not asking you to compromise. You know what I'm saying? So just be upfront. What do you have to lose? If you don't know this man and he is about his business too, he's not going to want to waste his time either. He's not. So remember, ladies, the foundation, some of the foundational things that you need in order to add security to your relationship. Acceptance. Do you accept this man? You know what I'm saying? Affection. You got to be affectionate, and I don't mean just sex. And then respect. A man does not feel respected. I mean, he doesn't feel loved if he doesn't feel respected. All right, I'm gonna get on out of here. Like, comment, subscribe, share all the good things. I love you. I appreciate you. See you in the next one.